for today's Parent to Parent segment. It's no surprise that teen drivers have the highest crash rate of any group in the United States. That's not my words. That's somebody else saying that. And while we hope it doesn't happen to your teen, it's a good thing to make sure they're prepared just in case. It is actually surprising to me. A lot of people might think that teens aren't good drivers. I think they are good drivers. Potential magazine publisher Pam Mashburn and Farmers Insurance agent Dwayne Ferrier here now to tell us more about that. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks.
You know, teens do get a bad rap sometime, but everybody of all ages, everybody of all ages, driving ages, get into accidents. True. And when they do, no matter what age, but we're dealing with teens because we're talking about potential, what do they need to do? What do they need to do? You say they've earned this reputation?
Well, yeah, I mean, statistics say it. And if you look at my boys, yes. If you look at when I was a teenager, I would say yes, we fit the statistics, which say they're about 50% more likely to have an accident. And, you know, when we were kids, we didn't have the
15 or 50?
50.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And, you know, they
I would think it was
less
women with children, because, you know, we're so easily distracted. There's so much going on.
Because we're whacking kids behind.
Yes. They drop their passy or whatever we're trying to get.
That's true.
But yes.
But I think the phones, I think just the inexperience. Yes. I think it's mainly inexperience.
And the distractions. They have a lot of distractions too.
But yeah, so I was talking to Dwayne, and he is like my insurance go-to guy here in town, because I think there's a lot of things that we need to tell our kids. My kids were in a just in case. Like, what? How do you handle, like, what should we tell them to do if they're in an accident? Because, you know, they don't know if they're supposed to call me or the police, what they're supposed to do.
It is a scary situation. Even if you think you know what to do, you might not know what to do in a certain order or what's best to do at what time. So if they are in an accident, what do they need to do?
First thing first, let's go ahead and call the police.
Okay.
We want to talk about, regardless to how big the accident is, how scary it is, let's make sure we get a police and get an accident report in and get it documented. Second thing is, you want to make sure you've got that insurance card in your hand. There's typically going to be a telephone number on the back of there. You're going to go ahead and start calling your parents or calling the insurance and letting everybody know what happened. Take some pictures if you've got your cell phone with you, so that way you can document the damage to your vehicle as well as your other party's vehicle. And the last thing is, don't move the car. That's the thing.
Yeah, but what if you're in the middle of traffic and people are like honking and stuff? Should you leave your car?
Don't move the cars.
You're probably the least popular person in whatever town that you're in right there. But this is something that is very important. Why is it so important not to move the car?
When the police arrive on the scene to document, they have to go based on what they see there. They've been trained on this. So if you move your vehicle to the parking lot to the side, he's now got to assume, he or she now has to assume on what happened, opposing to if the vehicles are lined up just as the accident happened. Police officers go through a great deal of training to notate this information.
And they can kind of figure out based on what they hear from one person and another person. Well, if the cars are like this or like that, however they're configured, they know whose word they can take. Otherwise, it's your word against the other person, and who knows who's really telling the truth. Okay, so
I had another question. Okay, so we're in a fender bender, and it's not a major thing, and the other person says, yeah, let's just handle this outside of insurance. Then what do we do?
Call your mom or dad first.
Yeah, but then even mom and dad don't even know. Like, you know, what if it makes my insurance rates go up and that kind of stuff?
Is that something to even consider?
Yeah, how do you handle that?
I'm going to always say document and call the police. Cover yourselves. You want to make sure you've got the information there in place, because this person may say, yeah, I'll pay you out of pocket, but you have no proof of the accident. So what happens if they go back on their word?
Right.
And now you're having to pay for it yourself.
Exactly. And talk to us a little bit, too, about if you have a situation like that and you do opt to do that, and then you don't have the documentation, you really don't have any recourse, do you?
Well, at that point in time, then the insurance companies, you can still call your insurance company, and they will proceed with filing a claim, and then they'll go through the process of subrogation if it's proven that that person's at fault. But again, you now are dealing with a word versus word situation.
So get the police on the phone and do not move your car. Hey, if you want to find out more about this topic and others that affect teens in our community, pick up your copy of Potential magazine. And if you can't find it in the places where your teen hangs out and where you hang out, where can they find it online?
Potentialmagazine.com. And if you have insurance questions, the best person to call in town is going to be Dwayne Ferrier.
All right, Dwayne Ferrier, thank you so much for being here from Farmers Insurance. All right.